Chosen one. You did not arrive here by chance, and you are not listening to these words by accident. Heaven has marked this exact moment, and your prophetic scroll is being unsealed in perfect kairos timing. Something within your spirit recognized the signal before your mind could explain it, because this hour was written for you long before you were born. Chosen one. You are standing at the edge of a destined moment. What has been sealed is beginning to open. What has been delayed is now being summoned forward. This is not ordinary time. This is the appointed hour on heaven's clock, the kind of moment Scripture speaks of when it says there is a time for every purpose under heaven, as written in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. Anointed One, the year itself is asking you to be seen differently. Not louder, not forced, but aligned. What God has placed inside you can no longer remain hidden without consequence. The vision may have seemed slow, but Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 reminds us that though it tarry, it will surely come at the appointed time. Chosen one, this is an awakening moment, a divine unlocking, a sacred invitation to step out of concealment and into alignment. Prepare your heart. Expect movement. Something is shifting in your spirit, in your body, and in your circumstances, because when the time is right, as Isaiah chapter 60 verse 22 declares, God makes it happen suddenly. Chosen one, hear this slowly and let it settle. You were chosen before you ever tried to become worthy, before you fixed anything, before you proved anything. Long before your mistakes had names and your fears had voices, heaven already marked you. God looked through time itself and selected you on purpose, with intention and with full awareness of every chapter you would walk through. Nothing about your life surprised him, not the detours, not the delays, not the seasons where you felt hidden or overlooked. You were chosen with all of that included. Anointed one. Your identity was never meant to be built from what happened to you. It was never meant to be shaped by the worst thing you survived or the longest season you endured. Your identity was written by God, sealed in heaven, and carried quietly through time until this moment. That is why the enemy worked so hard to keep you small, silent, distracted, or doubting. He knew that if you ever saw yourself clearly, if you ever understood who you belonged to, his influence would lose its grip. I remember seasons where I knew God had called me, but my life did not look like calling. I had the language of faith, but not the movement of faith. I could say the right things, post the right verses, even encourage others, yet still retreat back into comfort and familiarity. And that tension nearly broke me. Because knowing who you are without activating who you are creates frustration, not freedom. It creates a holy discomfort that refuses to let you settle. That restlessness you feel is not anxiety, it is awakening. Chosen one. Faith is not agreement in your mind. Faith is alignment in your movement. Faith is what happens when heaven speaks and your body responds, even when your emotions lag behind. There were moments when God whispered for me to move, and everything logical in me screamed, stop. The numbers did not make sense. The timing felt wrong. The resources looked insufficient. And I learned something that changed everything. God does not release provision to ideas that stay hidden. He releases provision to obedience that moves. This is the part many people misunderstand. The clarity does not come before the step. The confidence does not come before the action. The confirmation does not come before the obedience. It comes in motion. When you move, what you need meets you on the way. I have watched doors open only after I walked toward them without guarantees. I have seen strength arrive only after I admitted weakness. and I have learned that waiting on God is not the same as hiding from movement. Anointed one. Some of the moments you labeled as failure were actually protection. Some of the doors that closed saved you from versions of success that would have crushed you. Some of the delays were refining you, strengthening your foundation so you could carry what is now approaching. God was not punishing you in those quiet seasons. He was preparing you. Character was being built. Endurance was being forged. Faith was being rooted deeper than feelings. This is where discipline enters the story. Not harsh discipline, sacred discipline. The kind that shows up when inspiration fades. The kind that keeps praying when heaven feels quiet. The kind that keeps moving when no one is applauding. I had to learn that inspiration starts transformation, but discipline sustains it. Purpose does not wait for perfect conditions. Purpose responds to consistent obedience. Chosen one. The year is asking you to be seen differently because the season of concealment has done its work. The hidden scroll is being opened. What you carried in silence is now meant to be expressed in alignment. But this visibility is not about attention. It is about obedience. It is not about proving yourself. It is about positioning yourself. You are not being rushed. You are being released. You are not late. You are right on time. Heaven's clock is precise, and this kairos moment was written into your life before you were born. There is a divine season for every purpose, and you are stepping into yours now. The discomfort you feel is not resistance, it is transition. Do not mistake hesitation for humility. There comes a point where hiding becomes disobedience. There comes a moment when staying silent is no longer safe. This is that moment, not because you are ready in your own strength, but because heaven is ready to move through you. Stay here. The next segment will take you deeper into the fire that refines chosen ones, and why this testing season was necessary before you could be trusted with what is coming. Chosen one. There is a reason the pressure increased right before this moment. Fire always comes before visibility because nothing untested can be trusted with light. What you walked through was not random resistance, it was refining resistance. God was not watching from a distance while you struggled. He was standing close, shaping you in ways comfort never could. I know what it feels like to wonder if the silence means you missed him. I know the exhaustion of doing the right thing without immediate reward. Yet every unseen step was training your spirit to hold weight without collapsing. Anointed. One testing does not mean abandonment. It means examination. When gold is tested, it is not destroyed, it is revealed. The same fire that exposes weakness also reveals purity. Some of the battles you fought were not about winning or losing. They were about stripping away false identities you learned to wear for survival. You could not step into visibility carrying versions of yourself that were built out of fear. Heaven needed you free, not polished. Strong, not impressive. Rooted, not reactive. There were moments you questioned your calling because the cost felt unfair. You watched others advance faster while you stayed hidden. But speed does not equal alignment. God does not measure readiness by momentum. He measures it by depth. What looks like delay from the outside is often precision from heaven. I had seasons where everything slowed down, relationships shifted, opportunities paused, and it felt like life narrowed. Only later did I realize God was removing noise so I could hear him clearly. Distraction would have ruined what discipline preserved. Chosen. One discipline is not restriction. It is devotion made practical. It is choosing obedience when emotions fluctuate. It is showing up when no one is watching. This is where many turn back. They want glory without groundwork. They want doors without endurance. But weighty assignments require strong foundations. I have seen prayers answered that became burdens because the vessel was not ready. God protects you by preparing you. Love sometimes looks like delay. The fire you faced was not there to burn you. It was there to burn what did not belong. Fear that masqueraded as wisdom. Silence that pretended to be humility. Comfort that disguised itself as peace. Those things cannot survive where you are going. You needed to learn how to stand when everything familiar shakes. Faith that has never been tested remains theory. Faith that survives testing becomes authority. Anointed one. The enemy intensified his efforts because awakening threatens darkness. Opposition is not proof you are wrong. Often it is confirmation you are aligned. The enemy does not fight empty vessels. He resists carriers of impact. When distractions multiplied, when doubt grew louder, when fatigue whispered quit, it was because something in you was beginning to rise. You were no longer content playing small. Heaven noticed, and so did hell. There is a shift that happens when identity moves from your head to your spirit. You stop begging and start standing. You stop asking permission and start moving. You realize you were never a victim of circumstance. You were a steward in training. You were not overlooked. You were being equipped. This is why you cannot go back to hiding. The version of you that survived the fire cannot live small anymore. You carry clarity now, discernment now, weight now. Chosen one, stay connected. Do not confuse activity with intimacy. Power does not come from effort alone. It flows from union. I learned this the hard way by burning out while doing good things without staying close to God. Fruit grows naturally when connection is intact. When you abide, movement becomes lighter and direction becomes clearer. You do not have to force what is already aligned. This season is asking you to trust differently, not louder faith, but deeper surrender, not more striving, but stronger roots. Heaven is not rushing you, it is positioning you. What opens next will require you to stand firmly in who you are, not who you pretend to be. You are ready because the fire proved it. Stand firm now because heaven has already confirmed your readiness beyond doubt. Chosen one. There comes a moment when hiding no longer feels safe. It may sound strange, but concealment has an expiration date. What once protected you can eventually restrain you if you stay there too long. The season you are in now carries a different demand. Heaven is not asking you to become louder, more aggressive, or more visible in a worldly sense. Heaven is asking you to become honest in your alignment. To stop shrinking your obedience to fit the comfort of others. To stop dimming clarity so you do not intimidate people who are not meant to walk with you forward. Anointed one. The fear of being seen is often rooted in past exposure that wounded you. There were times when you stepped forward too early, spoke too openly, trusted too quickly, and paid a price for it. That pain taught you caution, but it was never meant to teach you concealment forever. Wisdom knows when to guard and when to advance. What you learned in hiding has matured into discernment, and discernment is meant to guide movement, not replace it. I remember moments when I sensed God nudging me forward, yet everything in me hesitated. Not because I doubted him, but because I remembered how visibility once brought criticism, misunderstanding, or loss. What I had to learn was this: God never asks you to step forward without also standing with you. The same presence that met you in the hidden place goes with you into the open field. You are not leaving him behind when you leave hiding. You are following him. Chosen one being seen differently does not mean being seen by everyone. It means being seen accurately by those assigned to recognize you. There is a difference. When God elevates, He also filters. Not everyone from your hidden season can follow you into your revealed season. This is not punishment, it is protection. Some people only know how to relate to the version of you that needed them. They struggle when you no longer do. The discomfort you feel is the friction between who you were and who you are becoming. Growth always creates tension. Alignment often requires loss before it produces fruit. You are not losing people because you are wrong. You are losing alignment because seasons are shifting. When the year asks you to be seen differently, it is also asking you to release old permissions. You do not need approval from people who benefited from your silence. Anointed One. This season calls for holy courage. Not the courage that proves something, but the courage that obeys something. Courage that says yes, even when clarity is partial. Courage that moves, even when affirmation is absent. I learned that most confirmations come after obedience, not before it. God often waits to see movement before revealing the next layer. He is not withholding, He is training trust. There is a reason your inner world has been strengthening. A reason your discernment has sharpened. A reason your tolerance for noise has decreased. You were being prepared to carry visibility without losing integrity, influence without compromise, authority without arrogance. These things cannot be rushed. They must be built quietly before they are expressed publicly. Chosen. One visibility will test your motives. It will expose why you move, not just how you move. This is why surrender matters now more than ambition. When your identity is secure, visibility does not intoxicate you. It simply becomes a platform for obedience. You no longer chase attention, you steward assignment. There is also a grief that comes with stepping forward. Grief for who you were. Grief for relationships that cannot follow. Grief for comfort that must be released. Do not ignore that grief. Bring it to God. He understands it. Even Jesus grieved transitions. Grief does not mean resistance. It means you are human while being obedient. Anointed. One heaven is not asking you to perform. It is asking you to appear. To show up as you are aligned, surrendered, and awake. You do not need to exaggerate your calling. You do not need to announce your authority. Authority announces itself through consistency and peace. When you move from alignment, those meant to recognize you will. The light you carry does not need permission to shine. It needs obedience to flow. Stop asking if it is time. The question is no longer timing. It is trust. Trust that God knows who should see you. Trust that He knows where to place you. Trust that He knows how to protect you in visibility the same way He protected you in hiding. Chosen one, you are not stepping into exposure. You are stepping into assignment. The year is not demanding performance. It is inviting alignment. And alignment always brings you exactly where you are meant to stand. Chosen one as alignment deepens, acceleration begins quietly. It rarely announces itself with noise. Instead, it shows up as movement after stagnation, clarity after confusion, and doors opening where walls once stood. This is not coincidence. It is convergence. When obedience meets preparation, heaven responds with momentum. What once required effort now flows with less resistance, not because life becomes easy, but because you are finally moving in rhythm with God's timing. Anointed one acceleration can feel unsettling at first. After long seasons of waiting, stillness becomes familiar. Movement feels risky. You may even feel unprepared despite years of preparation. That feeling does not mean you are behind. It means the pace has shifted. God often accelerates suddenly after extended silence because He was arranging things you could not see. Connections, conditions, and circumstances were aligning beyond your awareness. I have experienced moments where years of prayer seemed unanswered, then suddenly multiple things moved at once. It felt overwhelming until I realized God was not rushing me. He was redeeming time. What appeared delayed was actually stored momentum. When the release came, it came layered. This is why grounding matters now. Acceleration without grounding creates instability, but acceleration anchored in surrender produces impact. Chosen one. This is where humility becomes protection. When movement increases, ego can whisper that you earned it. Resist that voice. Nothing you are stepping into was achieved alone. It was entrusted. Stay aware of the source. Gratitude keeps your spirit aligned. Dependence keeps your heart soft. Pride disqualifies quietly before it ever announces itself. As visibility increases, discernment must deepen. Not every opportunity is assignment. Not every open door is yours to walk through. Acceleration does not mean saying yes to everything. It means saying yes to what aligns. I learned that some doors open as tests, not invitations. The question is not can you enter, but should you? Wisdom knows when to move and when to wait, even in fast seasons. Anointed. One authority is increasing in your voice, not because you are louder, but because you are clearer. Words spoken from alignment carry weight. Prayer spoken from surrender moves faster. This is not about control, it is about resonance. When your inner world is aligned, your outer world responds more quickly. That is how spiritual authority functions. There will be moments where you walk into spaces you never imagined accessing, not because you forced your way in, but because favor positioned you. Do not shrink in those rooms. Do not overcompensate either. Just stand as yourself. You belong where God places you. Doubt in those moments is natural, but it is not truth. Let peace, not fear, guide your posture. Chosen one. Generosity becomes crucial now. Not just financial generosity, but generosity of spirit. Credit others. Lift those behind you. Remember where you came from. Blessing that stagnates turns toxic. Blessing that flows multiplies. God blesses channels, not containers. Keep your hands open and your heart teachable. There is also a responsibility that comes with momentum. Others will watch how you carry what you receive. Your life becomes a message, even when you are silent. Integrity matters more than image. Private alignment sustains public impact. Do not neglect your inner life while stewarding outer influence. Stay rooted. Stay connected. Anointed one. Success tests identity differently than failure. Failure humbles you quickly. Success tempts you subtly. Stay anchored in presence, not performance. Return often to stillness. Let God recalibrate you as things move faster. Rest is not retreat. It is maintenance for longevity. As acceleration unfolds, you may feel moments of awe mixed with responsibility. That is healthy. It means you understand the weight of what you carry. You were not prepared to impress. You were prepared to steward. Everything you survived taught you how to remain grounded when things rise. Chosen one. This is not about arrival. It is about alignment, sustained over time. Stay obedient in motion, the same way you were obedient in waiting. The same God who met you in silence is guiding you in movement. Trust Him here. Let peace govern your decisions. Let humility anchor your steps. You are not rushing ahead. You are responding to heaven's timing. and heaven does not miscalculate. Chosen one. There is a quieter test that comes after acceleration, and it is often more subtle than the fire you already survived. It is the test of consistency. When movement increases and doors begin to open, the temptation is to relax the disciplines that carried you through hidden seasons. This is where many lose grounding, not because they are rebellious, but because they assume momentum will carry itself. Momentum is a gift, but it is not a substitute for intimacy. The same surrender that sustained you in waiting must now sustain you in motion. Anointed one. I have watched people rise quickly only to lose themselves slowly, not in scandal, but in drift. They stopped listening as deeply because things seemed to be working. They replaced presence with productivity. They assumed fruit meant connection was intact. I learned that fruit can still appear for a while, even when roots are neglected, but eventually the strain shows. God is inviting you to deepen, not loosen your connection as visibility increases. This season will require you to guard your inner life with intention, not paranoia, but awareness. The more responsibility you carry, the more clarity you need. Silence becomes fuel. Stillness becomes strategy. You will need moments where you step away, not because you are overwhelmed, but because you are wise. Jesus often withdrew after powerful moments, not because he lacked strength, but because he valued alignment over applause. Chosen. One, expectations will increase. Some will expect answers from you. Some will expect leadership. Some will expect access. You must discern what belongs to you and what does not. You are not called to be everything to everyone. Overextension weakens assignment. Saying no does not make you disobedient. Sometimes it is the most obedient response you can give. There will also be moments where you feel misunderstood again, even after stepping forward. Visibility does not eliminate misunderstanding. It simply changes its form. Do not let that discourage you. Misunderstanding does not cancel calling. It often accompanies it. Stay rooted in truth rather than reaction. Not every criticism deserves a response. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Anointed one, you may notice that your inner compass has become stronger. Trust it. Discernment sharpened in hidden seasons is now essential. You will sense when something looks good but feels misaligned. Honor that sensing. Obedience is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet restraint. Sometimes it is choosing alignment over opportunity. I remember times when saying no felt costly, but saying yes would have cost me more. God honored those moments. He always does. You never lose by obeying him even when the loss feels immediate. What you preserve through obedience becomes protection later. Chosen one. Humility will keep you teachable. Stay curious. Stay listening. Do not assume you have arrived simply because things are moving. Growth continues even in expansion. Allow God to correct you gently. Correction is not rejection. It is refinement at a higher level. There is also joy in this season. Do not neglect it. Joy is not distraction. It is strength. Celebrate progress without idolizing it. Be grateful without becoming dependent on outcomes. Gratitude anchors you to the source rather than the results. Anointed one. You are learning how to walk steadily in light without being blinded by it. This takes practice. It takes honesty. It takes continual surrender. Let God remain your reference point. Let peace remain your signal. When peace withdraws, pause. When peace remains, proceed. You are not alone in this season. The same presence that sustained you in isolation walks with you now. Trust that presence. Let it guide your pace. Let it shape your decisions. Let it remind you that this journey has always been about alignment, not achievement. Stay grounded. Stay yielded. Stay awake. What you are carrying is meant to last, not just impress. Chosen one. As you continue forward, you will begin to recognize a deeper shift taking place within you. It is not just about what you are doing differently, but about how you are being differently. There is a steadiness forming that was not there before, a calm authority, a quiet confidence that does not need to announce itself. This is evidence that your identity is no longer attached to outcomes. You are learning to move from being rooted rather than reaching, anointed one. This is where legacy thinking begins to replace survival thinking. You no longer ask, how do I get through this, but how do I steward this well? Your decisions carry a wider awareness now. You sense how your choices affect others. This is not pressure, it is maturity. God only entrusts influence to those who can carry it without being consumed by it. There will be moments when you reflect on your past and realize how necessary every season was. Even the ones you resisted, especially the ones you did not understand. The pieces begin to connect, not because you have all the answers, but because you now trust the author. Understanding grows naturally when trust is established. Chosen one. There is a rhythm you are learning. A rhythm between movement and rest, between speaking and listening, between engagement and withdrawal. This rhythm protects longevity. Burnout happens when rhythm is ignored. Fruitfulness increases when rhythm is honored. You are no longer rushing, you are responding. You may notice that certain desires are fading. Things that once excited you no longer hold the same pull. This is not loss. It is alignment. As purpose clarifies, distractions lose their appeal. This is a sign of growth, not emptiness. Space is being created for what truly matters. Anointed one relationships will continue to shift. Some will deepen, some will drift. Let that happen without resentment. Not every connection is meant to remain constant. Seasons change, and relationships often reflect those changes. Release without bitterness. Bless without attachment. Trust that God is ordering your connections with precision. There will also be moments when you feel the weight of responsibility and wonder if you are enough. Let those moments drive you back to dependence, not self-doubt. You were never meant to carry this alone. Strength flows from connection, not competence. When you feel weak, you are actually positioned to receive support from the source. Chosen one. Obedience at this level often looks ordinary from the outside. Faithfulness in small decisions, integrity when no one is watching, consistency when excitement fades. These are not glamorous acts, but they are powerful. They build trust between you and God. Trust is the currency of greater assignment. You are learning how to lead yourself before leading others. This is crucial. Self-leadership is the foundation of all healthy influence. If you can remain aligned when no one is directing you, you can be trusted when others begin to follow. Anointed one. The future you are stepping into will require you to remember who you are in every season. Not just when things are difficult, but when things are good. Do not forget the lessons of hidden seasons. They are anchors, not memories. Return to them often. Let them keep you grounded. There is a quiet joy in knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be, even when the path ahead is still unfolding. That joy does not come from certainty. It comes from trust. Trust that God is faithful. Trust that timing is intentional. Trust that you are held even as you move forward. Chosen. 1. Continue walking with awareness. Continue listening deeply. Continue surrendering daily. You are not chasing destiny. You are walking in it step by step, aligned with heaven's timing and grounded in truth. Chosen one. There is a sacred clarity that emerges when obedience becomes your default rather than your struggle. You begin to recognize the difference between urgency driven by fear and urgency driven by alignment. Fear rushes because it is afraid to miss something. Alignment moves steadily because it knows nothing assigned to you can pass you by. This is an important distinction for you now. The year is not pressuring you to perform faster. It is inviting you to trust deeper. Anointed One discernment sharpens when you stop reacting and start responding. Reaction is fueled by emotion and external pressure. Response is guided by inner alignment and peace. You have learned often through mistakes that not every situation deserves immediate action. Some require prayerful pause, some require silent endurance, some require decisive movement. Wisdom is knowing the difference, and that wisdom has been forming in you quietly over time. There will be moments when old patterns attempt to resurface. Doubt may whisper that you are overreaching. Fear may suggest retreat. Familiar comfort may invite you back into smaller versions of yourself. These voices do not mean you are failing. They mean you are stretching beyond what once defined you. Growth always disturbs what is familiar. Do not negotiate with voices that belong to previous seasons. Chosen one, your sense of identity is stabilizing. You are no longer defined by applause or absence of it. Approval no longer governs your direction the way it once did. This does not make you indifferent. It makes you anchored. Anchored people can care deeply without being controlled. They can lead without losing themselves. They can serve without resentment. I have learned that the most dangerous drift is not obvious rebellion, but subtle compromise. Small decisions made out of convenience rather than conviction. Small silences where truth should be spoken gently. Small hesitations where obedience is clear. Stay aware of these moments. They matter more than dramatic tests. Faithfulness is proven in ordinary choices. Anointed one, you are becoming comfortable with responsibility, not because it is easy, but because it is meaningful. Meaning sustains where motivation fades. When your why is clear, endurance increases. This is why heaven often clarifies purpose before increasing pressure. You were given vision so you could endure process without losing heart. You may notice a growing sensitivity to peace. Situations that once felt neutral now feel heavy. Conversations that once felt harmless now feel draining. This is not weakness, it is discernment. Your spirit recognizes misalignment faster now. Honor that awareness. It is part of your protection. Chosen one leadership begins internally. The way you speak to yourself, the way you process disappointment, the way you recover from mistakes. Self-leadership is not perfection. It is honesty and responsibility. You no longer hide from your weaknesses. You bring them into the light where they can be transformed. As your light becomes steadier, others will be drawn not to your words, but to your presence. Peace attracts. Authenticity invites trust. You do not need to convince anyone of who you are. Consistency will speak louder than explanation ever could. Anointed one. Remember that obedience does not always feel heroic. Often it feels repetitive, showing up again, praying again, choosing integrity again. But repetition builds reliability, and reliability builds authority. Heaven trusts those who remain consistent when excitement fades. This season is shaping you into someone who can carry influence without losing humility, someone who can walk in authority without forgetting dependence, someone who can be seen without needing to be praised. These qualities are rare because they require time, surrender, and patience. Chosen one, keep walking steadily. Not hurried, not hesitant, just aligned. You are not behind, you are not early. You are exactly where obedience has brought you. Chosen one, as the path continues to unfold, you may notice that your prayers are changing. They are becoming less about asking for direction and more about asking for alignment, less about outcomes and more about obedience. This shift signals maturity. It means you trust God's leading enough to surrender control. Control always seeks certainty. Surrender seeks connection. Anointed one. There is a quiet authority that flows from trust. When you trust God deeply, you stop forcing doors. You stop defending yourself unnecessarily. You stop striving to be understood. You allow truth to stand on its own. This does not make you passive. It makes you secure. There will be moments when things do not move as quickly as you expect again. Acceleration does not eliminate waiting. It reframes it. Waiting no longer feels like abandonment. It feels like positioning. You have learned that God is present in stillness as much as in movement. That awareness protects your peace. Chosen one, your relationship with uncertainty is changing. You no longer need to see the entire path to take the next step. Trust has replaced control. Faith has replaced fear. This does not mean questions disappear. It means questions no longer paralyze you. You move forward while still learning. You may find yourself mentoring others naturally. Not through titles or platforms, but through presence and wisdom. People will ask how you stayed steady, how you endured, how you remained grounded. You will realize that your story carries weight because it was lived honestly, not perfectly. Anointed. One, remember that calling is not something you chase. It is something you steward. Stewardship requires patience, humility, and consistency. It also requires boundaries. Protect your time, protect your energy, protect your connection with God. These are not selfish acts. They are responsible ones. As your influence grows, stay attentive to your inner world. Outer growth must be matched by inner depth. When the two remain balanced, you experience peace even in expansion. When they separate, strain appears. Return often to what grounds you. Prayer, stillness, reflection, gratitude. Chosen one. You are learning how to walk with confidence without arrogance, conviction without rigidity, strength without hardness. These qualities are formed through surrender, not effort. Let God continue shaping you. Yield when correction comes. Receive when affirmation arrives. Both are gifts. There will be days when obedience feels ordinary again. Do not despise those days. Ordinary faithfulness sustains extraordinary seasons. The unseen moments matter just as much as the visible ones. Heaven records faithfulness, not popularity. Anointed one, you are not becoming someone new. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Layer by layer, season by season, step by step. Trust this process. Honor this journey. Remain present in each moment. Chosen one, continue forward with awareness and humility. You are walking in alignment, not striving for arrival. Destiny is unfolding through obedience, and heaven is faithful to guide every step you take. Chosen one. There is a deeper invitation unfolding now, one that moves beyond obedience as effort and into obedience as identity. This is the stage where alignment is no longer something you think about constantly, because it has begun to shape how you naturally respond to life. You are not asking at every turn if you are doing the right thing. You are sensing it. Peace has become your compass, and unease has become your signal. This is not intuition alone. This is discernment matured through surrender. It was forged through seasons where you had to choose faith without reassurance and integrity without recognition. Anointed One, you may notice that your inner dialogue has changed. The voice of accusation has grown quieter. The need to explain yourself has diminished. Where you once rehearsed defenses, you now practice stillness. This shift did not happen overnight. It is the result of repeated decisions to trust God when clarity was incomplete. Each time you moved forward without certainty, something in you strengthened. Each time you stayed when quitting felt easier, your roots went deeper. You are now standing on a foundation that does not depend on circumstances to feel solid. There is also a growing sensitivity to timing within you. You are beginning to recognize when to act and when to wait without anxiety attached to either choice. Waiting no longer feels like falling behind. Acting no longer feels like forcing. Both are simply responses to God's leading. This is a rare maturity. Many people know what to do but cannot sense when to do it. You are learning that timing is just as sacred as action. A step taken too early can exhaust you. A step taken too late can cost you momentum. Heaven has been training you to move in rhythm, not rush. Chosen One. There will be moments when you look back and realize how much you have changed, not in personality, but in posture. You are less reactive, less defensive, less driven by urgency that comes from fear of lack. This does not mean you have become passive. It means you are anchored. Anchored people move with intention. They do not need to prove their worth because they are no longer questioning it. Identity settled becomes strength multiplied. Anointed One. As your light becomes more consistent, you may encounter resistance that feels different than before. Not loud opposition, but subtle testing. Invitations that look harmless but pull you out of alignment. Compliments that stroke ego more than spirit. Opportunities that promise expansion but require compromise. These moments are not meant to trap you. They are meant to reveal how deeply your values are rooted. You are not being tempted because you are weak. You are being tested because you are trusted. I have learned that discernment is often proven not in obvious choices between right and wrong, but in subtle choices between good and aligned. Good things can still distract you from the right thing. Helpful things can still pull you away from your assignment. This is why staying connected matters more than ever. Connection sharpens clarity. Distance dulls it. You do not need to fear making mistakes. You need to stay attentive. Chosen One. You are also learning how to carry responsibility without internal pressure. Pressure once motivated you. Now it exhausts you. This is growth. You no longer need stress to feel productive. You no longer need urgency to feel important. You understand that sustainable impact is built slowly and faithfully. What you are creating now is not just movement. It is longevity. There is a sacred patience forming in you. Not the patience of waiting for life to happen, but the patience of trusting the process while participating in it. You are present in your days. You are no longer rushing through them to reach a future moment. This presence is powerful. It allows you to notice what others miss, to respond with wisdom instead of impulse, to listen more than you speak. These are not small shifts. They are markers of leadership shaped by God rather than ambition. Anointed. One leadership will continue to express itself in quiet ways before it becomes visible in larger ones. Influence often grows underground before it emerges above the surface. Do not underestimate the impact of consistency. People are watching how you handle pressure, how you treat those who cannot benefit you, how you respond when things do not go your way. Integrity builds trust slowly, but it holds weight when it matters most. You may also feel a growing responsibility to guard what you consume mentally and spiritually. Conversations, media environments that once felt neutral now feel intrusive. This is not isolation, it is stewardship. What you allow in will influence what flows out. As your influence increases, so does the importance of protecting your inner atmosphere. Peace is not fragile, but it is valuable. Chosen one. There will be days when progress feels invisible again. Do not misinterpret that as regression. Growth is not always measurable in visible outcomes. Sometimes growth looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like choosing rest over proving. These choices matter. They preserve strength for moments when action is required. Anointed one. You're learning how to trust God not just with your future, but with your reputation, your timing, and your relationships. This is a deeper surrender. It means releasing control over how others perceive you. It means allowing God to defend you when necessary and to keep you hidden when protection requires it. Trust at this level brings peace that circumstances cannot disrupt. You are no longer chasing confirmation. You are walking in conviction. Conviction does not shout. It stands. It remains steady when opinions shift. It does not need consensus to move forward. This is why your presence carries more weight now. People sense stability. They sense authenticity. They sense alignment. Chosen one, continue to honor the process. Do not rush what is still forming. Do not despise what feels ordinary. The extraordinary is built inside the ordinary moments you are faithfully living. Stay attentive. Stay surrendered. Stay aligned. You are not wandering. You are walking a path that has been prepared step by step, and each step you take continues to unfold what comes. Chosen one. There is a quiet strength emerging in you now that does not need affirmation to remain steady. It is the strength that comes from having survived inner battles that no one applauded and choosing alignment when retreat would have been easier. You are no longer moved by urgency rooted in fear of loss. You are learning how to move from trust rooted in presence. This shift changes everything because when trust becomes your anchor, decisions stop feeling heavy and begin to feel clear. Anointed one. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos has diminished. What once felt normal now feels draining. This is not weakness, it is refinement. Your spirit has become more sensitive to misalignment, and sensitivity is a sign of maturity, not fragility. You are learning how to protect your peace without building walls, how to remain open without becoming exposed. That balance only comes through lived experience and repeated surrender. There will be moments when you are tempted to explain yourself, to clarify your intentions, to defend your choices. Pause in those moments. Not every misunderstanding needs correction. Not every assumption needs response. Some things are resolved through consistency, not conversation. Truth has a way of revealing itself over time without force. Let your life speak where words would only drain you. Chosen. 1. This season is also teaching you restraint. Restraint is not suppression, it is wisdom in motion. You are learning when to speak and when silence carries more authority. You are learning when to act immediately and when waiting preserves alignment. These choices are subtle, but they shape outcomes in powerful ways. Heaven often works through what looks insignificant to human eyes. Anointed one, there is also a deepening compassion forming in you. You are beginning to see people not just through behavior, but through brokenness. This does not mean excusing harm. It means understanding context without losing boundaries. Compassion anchored in truth becomes strength rather than burden. You can care without carrying what does not belong to you. I've learned that maturity shows up when you can hold space for others without abandoning yourself, when you can listen without absorbing, when you can lead without controlling. These capacities were built through the seasons where you had to choose self-leadership before influence ever expanded. What you are carrying now is the fruit of those choices. Chosen one. You are also learning how to trust God with outcomes instead of trying to manage them. Control once felt like safety. Now it feels heavy. Surrender feels lighter. This does not mean passivity. It means partnership. You do your part faithfully and release what only God can handle. This posture protects your energy and preserves your joy. There may be days when you question if the progress is real because it feels internal rather than visible. Do not dismiss internal progress. Internal shifts determine long-term stability. Visible success without internal grounding eventually collapses. What God is building in you now is designed to last, not impress quickly and fade. Anointed one. Your sense of purpose is becoming less dramatic and more integrated. It is no longer something you switch on for special moments. It is something you live quietly in daily decisions. Purpose is not always loud. Often it is revealed through consistency, integrity, and presence. This is how real impact forms. You may also feel a renewed respect for rest. Not rest as escape, but rest as stewardship. You're learning that rest sharpens discernment and preserves clarity. Exhaustion clouds judgment. Rest restores perspective. Choosing rest is an act of trust, not laziness. It declares that you believe God can move even when you pause. Chosen one, relationships will continue to refine you. Some will challenge you to grow. Some will mirror old patterns you have outgrown. Pay attention without judgment. Discernment is not suspicion. It is awareness. You are allowed to adjust proximity without cutting connection. Boundaries are not rejection, they are alignment in practice. Anointed one, as you move forward, remember that faithfulness is not measured by speed, but by steadiness. You are not required to outrun others. You are called to remain aligned with your assignment. Comparison will always distort perception. Stay focused on your lane. What is meant for you will meet you where obedience places you. There is a quiet confidence settling into your spirit now. Not the kind that demands recognition, but the kind that remains calm under pressure. This confidence was built through repetition, through choosing alignment again and again, through trusting God when evidence was absent. It is not fragile, it is grounded, chosen. One, continue honoring the small unseen choices. They are shaping outcomes you cannot yet measure. Continue listening deeply. Continue responding with wisdom. Continue surrendering control where trust is required. You are not striving toward something distant. You are walking within a process that is unfolding exactly as it should. Stay present, stay grounded, stay aligned. What is forming in you now will support what is entrusted to you next, and you are becoming someone who can carry it with grace, clarity, and endurance. Chosen one. There is a settling happening within you now, a kind of inner agreement where your spirit and your actions are no longer pulling in different directions. This is significant. It means resistance is losing its grip, not because challenges have disappeared, but because you are no longer negotiating with doubt the way you once did. Obedience is becoming simpler, not easier, but clearer. You are no longer asking who you need to be in each moment. You are simply being who you are. Anointed One. This stage is marked by a deeper trust in God's character, not just His power. You trust that He is wise, not rushed, that He is intentional, not reactive, that He sees beyond what you can see, and still chooses to guide you step by step instead of overwhelming you all at once. This trust changes how you handle uncertainty. You no longer treat it as a threat. You treat it as space where God can work without interference. You may notice that emotional extremes are softening. Highs feel calmer, lows feel less consuming. This is not numbness, it is stability. Stability allows you to remain present without being ruled by circumstance. It allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This kind of steadiness is rare, and it is built through repeated surrender, not willpower. Chosen One. You are also learning how to carry responsibility without internalizing pressure. You no longer confuse responsibility with burden. You understand that what is assigned to you is meant to be carried with God, not for God. This distinction matters. When you carry things alone, fatigue follows. When you carry them with Him, strength renews. There may still be moments when old fears attempt to surface, usually when you are tired or stretched. Do not be alarmed by this. Old patterns often surface at the edge of growth. The difference now is that those fears no longer have authority. They may speak, but they do not decide. You recognize them for what they are, echoes from previous seasons, not instructions for this one. Anointed One, there is also an increased clarity around what truly matters to you. Certain ambitions are losing their appeal. Certain expectations no longer motivate you. This narrowing is not loss, it is focus. Focus allows energy to gather instead of scatter. It allows depth to replace noise. It allows your yes to carry more weight, because your no has become intentional. I have learned that clarity often comes not through revelation alone, but through elimination. As unnecessary things fall away, what remains becomes obvious. God does not always add to show you your path. Sometimes He removes to reveal it. Pay attention to what is naturally falling out of alignment. Do not cling to it out of habit. Chosen One. Your relationship with God is also shifting into something more conversational, more relational, less transactional. You are not approaching Him only when you need answers. You are staying connected even when things feel stable. This consistency deepens intimacy. Intimacy strengthens discernment. Discernment protects alignment. There is a humility forming that is not rooted in insecurity, but in awareness. You know what you carry, but you also know where it comes from. This keeps you grounded. It keeps you open to learning. It keeps you aware that growth is ongoing, not completed. Humility at this level is not self-doubt. It is clarity. Anointed One, you may feel less urgency to be recognized and more responsibility to be faithful. Recognition fades quickly. Faithfulness compounds quietly. One builds image, the other builds legacy. You are choosing legacy even when it costs patience. That choice will outlast seasons and circumstances. There is also a deeper compassion emerging for yourself. You are learning how to extend grace inward without lowering standards. You correct yourself without condemnation. You adjust without shame. This inner kindness strengthens resilience. Harshness fractures it. Chosen one. The path ahead will continue to unfold in layers, not leaps. Do not rush what is still forming. Do not underestimate what is already solid. You are not waiting to become aligned. You are learning how to remain aligned through change. That skill will carry you farther than any single breakthrough ever could. Stay attentive, stay surrendered, stay honest. You are walking with clarity now, and that clarity is not loud, but it is strong enough to guide you through whatever comes next. Chosen one. You are entering a phase where alignment is no longer something you strive to maintain, but something you return to naturally. When distractions arise, you recognize them sooner. When tension appears, you trace it back to its source with honesty rather than avoidance. This is not because you have mastered life, but because you have learned how to listen inwardly. Awareness has become your ally. It guides you back to center before imbalance has time to settle in. Anointed one. There is a sacred simplicity forming in the way you approach decisions. You are less impressed by urgency and more attentive to resonance. You notice when something looks good on the surface but feels off within. You also recognize when something feels quiet yet carries peace. This sensitivity is not emotional volatility. It is discernment refined by experience. It was shaped during seasons when you had to choose integrity without immediate reward and trust without visible reassurance. You may notice that your energy is becoming more intentional. You are no longer scattered across too many commitments. You are learning to give your best to what aligns rather than your leftovers to everything. This is not withdrawal. It is stewardship. Stewardship of time. Stewardship of focus. Stewardship of presence. When you protect these things, clarity increases and fatigue lessens. Chosen one. There is also a shift in how you measure progress. You are no longer asking only what changed around you. You are noticing what changed within you. The way you recover from disappointment, the way you handle delay, the way you respond to correction. These internal markers reveal growth that cannot be taken from you. Circumstances fluctuate, but character compounds. Anointed one. You are becoming comfortable with not having to explain every season of your life. Some things are lived, not narrated. You are learning that privacy does not mean secrecy. It means discernment. Not every sacred process needs an audience. Some transformations deepen when they are allowed to remain quiet. I have learned that peace becomes more valuable than validation as maturity grows. Validation depends on others. Peace is cultivated internally through alignment. When peace leads, decisions feel lighter, even when outcomes remain uncertain. This does not remove responsibility. It removes unnecessary strain. Chosen one. Your faith is settling into something resilient. It is no longer shaken by every unanswered question. It is no longer dependent on constant reassurance. This does not mean you stop asking or seeking. It means your questions are anchored in trust rather than fear. You ask because you are curious, not because you are desperate. There may be moments when you realize you no longer resonate with environments or conversations that once felt familiar. Do not force yourself to remain where alignment has shifted. Growth often requires release. Releasing does not diminish what once was. It honors what it gave you while making room for what is next. Anointed one. Patience is becoming active rather than passive. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are participating fully in the present moment while remaining open to future movement. This posture allows joy to coexist with expectation. You are no longer postponing fulfillment until something changes. You are finding meaning now. You may also sense a deeper responsibility to model what alignment looks like in ordinary life. Not through instruction, but through example, how you listen, how you rest, how you speak, how you treat others when there is no advantage in doing so. These daily expressions carry more weight than any declaration. Chosen one, you are learning how to trust God, not only with direction, but with pacing. When to slow down, when to move forward, when to hold, when to release. Trusting pacing protects you from burnout and regret. It keeps your steps measured and sustainable. There is a quiet gratitude forming for every season you endured, even the ones you once questioned. Gratitude does not rewrite the pain, but it reframes the purpose. It allows you to see how every stage contributed to who you are now. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was outside God's awareness. Anointed one, you are no longer trying to arrive at a destination. You are learning how to walk faithfully through a journey. This shift changes how you relate to success and struggle alike. Both become teachers rather than definitions. Chosen one, continue honoring alignment over urgency. Continue listening deeply. Continue choosing integrity in small things. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming steady, and steadiness will carry you through every unfolding season with clarity, peace, and strength. Chosen one, as these words come to rest in your spirit, understand this with clarity and reverence. What has been sealed is opening. What has been hidden is being revealed. You are not standing in ordinary time. You are standing in your exact kairos moment, the appointed hour written for you on heaven's clock long before this year ever began. Anointed one, the light you carry was never meant to remain concealed. It was protected, refined, and matured so it could be released with precision and authority. The hidden scroll over your life is being unrolled line by line, and what God authored in secret is now stepping into visibility. Not for your glory, but for His purpose flowing through you. Remain faithful, stay aligned, guard your heart, and keep your spirit tender. Let gratitude anchor you as you move forward, knowing that what is about to manifest is not random, delayed, or forced. It is timed. Heaven has gone ahead of you. Provision is aligning. Connections are being positioned. Doors are opening in ways you could not have engineered on your own. Chosen one, walk gently but confidently. Move forward without fear. Speak with humility and authority. Let your life become the testimony that confirms what God has already declared. What He started in you, He is faithful to complete. If this word resonated with your spirit, receive it quietly and carry it with intention. You may leave a simple acknowledgement in the comments or share this message with another soul who is awakening in their own appointed time. Now go in peace. Stay aligned with the flow of the anointing. The scroll is open. The season is active. Heaven is watching and grace is moving with you.